Hello everyone and welcome to Formula Racing League TV. We are here on this scorching day at the legendary Brickyard, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for what is a first of its kind event here at Formula Racing League, the 8 Hours of Indianapolis. We have a field of 27 cars, all with teams of 2 to 4 drivers ready to duke it out today from race start 3 PM UK time until the late hours this evening. We are just currently watching the drivers just fine-tuning their setups, getting the cars exactly where they want them for this long race. It is a long one after all. And as we're doing that, let's go over the teams that will be driving today. Not everyone has yet joined the server. We are expecting around about 27 cars, but a couple of late pullouts. Hopefully we get as many people as possible joining the server. So out on the track just now, no, not quite on the track yet, we've got the African Thunder car, the 21 BMW. Team Year 1 and the BMW as well, the number 38. Hello Vortex, thanks for joining us in the chat. Look forward to seeing you on track later on. We've got the slow motion racers driving that Audi, the McDonald's car, the 171. We've got the Pure Sim Gear AM Class champion, Danny McCutcheon, and the T1 SR car, the Yellow Beach Dean Aston Martin. The Wall Racing team and the 433 Audi. Gonsalves for the Obermaniacs, who are currently in the Ferrari, the 300 Ferrari. The FRL Racing team in the pink and black, the Iron Dames car, 214. Vonderdyk out on track now as well. Hello Ben, thanks for joining in. We'll be taking over later on. Good to see you joining. Di Stefano for the BRC Racing team driving the Honda NSX tonight, the number 52 car. Jackie Van Eck, FRL Zone, number 72 BMW. Yeah. Team Phoenix 1 currently out there as well, the 488 Ferrari. A couple of cars now coming out onto the track. The ISS Racing team, the 155 Audi R8. SBR Europe currently out there in the Mercedes. There's Mr. Malden just there just now in the SBR Endurance car, the 588 AMG Mercedes with the Puma livery there. Michael Adenal for Race Club UK, we're just waiting to go out on track in the McLaren, the 211 Inception car, sitting alongside the Vodafone car as well. Hello Lewis, the engines are started. You've kind of stolen my thunder, I was planning on doing that later on. Morgan Grace and the French Connection car, the 208 Mercedes. That's the first Porsche we've seen today, the Baltic Sea Racing number 73. Robert Fernka and the VRL Jota Sport, the McLaren, the 99 car, the green and red. AOR, one of the favourites for this evening, Apex Online Racing, the number 14 Ferrari. We'll keep an eye on that one, how they get on. Jorgensen for Nordic E-Racing and the green Aston Martin with the light green, the lime green trim, sorry. And we've got Mullins IRL Black. It's when the cameraman finds the driver there, we maybe get to see them. He's coming into the pits there in the Rao Motorsports BMW, and we are still waiting for a couple of cars to join the server, so hopefully we'll catch up with them. Now, last night the drivers went through qualifying, a unique qualifying session very akin to Formula 1, where there are 3 qualifying sessions with the bottom drivers eliminated through each session. So what I'm going to do now is just quickly run through the grid with you. So starting from the back, then the AM, so there's 3 classes tonight. AM class represented by the red tickets on their car, so Klassen, the African Thunder car, Wild Racing, Baltic Sea Racing, and there are another couple just to come in, but they'll have the red plates, the red numbers on their car As you can see, they're on the front of the Porsche AM. In the grey will be the Pro-Am cars, such as the Turn 1 Sim Racing Aston Martin. They'll have the Pro-Am, the 788 there, just see silver. They will be in their own class. And there is of course the Pro class there as well. For example, the SBR car here, you'll see it on the back in the white with the white ticket there. On the back of the number it says Pro quite clearly as we zoom in there. So there will be competitions for wins for each of these classes, as well as the overall win this evening. So let's run through the grid. And starting at the back is the African Thunder car. They qualified at the back off the grid. Only still 2.5 seconds between first and last. This is such a close field, it really is going to be a tight one, and that's only qualifying pace. Remember, this is an 8-hour race. All drivers will obviously have a shot. It's not all about the outright one lap speed in this one. So we have African Thunder car in 27th. The WAL Racing team, who are currently still out on the track as well, I believe. Are they still on track? No, they're in the pit lane now, but they'll be starting 26th. Baltic Sea Racing in 25th in that Porsche. Ignition Sim Racing team will be starting 24th. That's also in a Mercedes, that one. Glory to Ukraine will be starting in 23rd, and that will round off the AM class. At the back of Pro-Am in 22nd, SBR GBR. I don't think they're in the server yet. I've not seen them join at least. SBR GBR with Jay Clayton, G Harvey, A Eden and Liam O'Neill. I've not seen them join yet. Liam O'Neill, also known to the Formula Racing League team as Cheese Monkey. And at number 21st, we're going to have Virtual Racing League. That's Vondradek. And I do apologise if I butcher any of these. That's Vondracek, sorry, Miska and Stefanak. And 20th we have the Overmaniacs car of Gonçalves, Lara, Farnia and Welk. Yaki's racing team. Currently I think Yaki Van X is on track. Yes, he is in the 72 BMW. And Yaki's brought his team with him today. Yaki is joined with Michael Clark, Niakinen and FRL's very own Mr. FRL, Chris Gedman. The ISS Racing team, not quite seen them on track I don't think. The 155 Audi, are they? Yes, they're here. We have Gibbon, currently on track, and Cataldo as well. They'll be starting 18th. And alongside them will be the Turn 1 Sim Racing team. I'm going to do my best to remain completely impartial, as they are my team. So I will do my best for the next 2 hours to not be cheering them on and try and be as impartial as possible in the commentary box. And 16th we have Southern State Racing. I don't see them on the track just now either. I think they're in the 100 McLaren. Not seen the 100 McLaren yet. No, they're not here yet. VRL Jota Sport, we've seen them, they're 15th. Di Stefano and the BRC Racing team 14th. Slow Motion Racers will be 13th, Nordic Racing in 12th, and the FRL Racing team is finished in 11th, leading the Pro-Am class off the grid. But onto the Pro class, we're going to have the SBR Endurance team. That's a 588 Mercedes. They'll be starting 10th alongside Team Phoenix. The French Connection will be in P8, SBR Europe in 7th. IRL Black will start 6th alongside Race Club UK in P5. We've got CDTB Esports will be 4th alongside Team Year 1 on row 3, and in the front row we'll have Team Phoenix 2 and Apex Online Racing, and they'll be in the 14th Ferrari. So it's 2 Ferraris, 1 and 2. It does lead to believe that it might be a Ferrari based track, this one. So let's see if we can have a look at them right now. Let's have a little look on board. Let's get a look at this track. pick somebody, I think, coming over the line. 155 car. We're just about to start a lap, so let's see if we can come on board with them. That's the ISS racing team as they cross the line. Very long starting straight here. You need to pick your braking point. The markers on the left will help. Slams on the brakes just before the 300 and kisses that inside curb. Try and leave a little bit to the left to get a good line as you come through turn 2. Turn 3 is an acceleration zone, but you need to spot your braking point again. Not a lot of reference points. You're almost on feel for turn 4. Let the car run out, but don't rest because you have another quick kink there. Maybe need a little left, or hopefully flat out most of the time. And this is a tricky one, multiple lines, but you want to have a latest possible apex to open up the following corner, the tight right-hander, and the drivers are able to run all the way out to the left-hand side here. A little bit of snap oversteer on the exit. That won't help the lap time as they come under the car shot barrier. Get the car over to the right, on the curb as far right as it'll go, slam on the brakes, watch that curb on the inside, it's very steep. Quick right-left through here, try and keep the car balanced, do not take too much of the first curb. And this is the exit you need right. You've got a long straight after this one, and they ran a little bit wide. Kept the foot in the throttle, but the lap will not count. But that won't matter too much in the race, but you need to bring the car over to the left now to get this braking point spot on. You can also there already see the debris on the outside there. Bring it over to the right for the tight left hand second to last corner. And then this is the hard one, this is important. You need to do your best to get this flat out. It won't be flat out in the race with these scorching hot temperatures, but it will bring you back onto the straight. This long straight and across the line to complete a lap off to the brickyard. So that's a lap we've got around here. That's the challenges the drivers will face. We do expect to see a lot of the action into turn 1, which we're just seeing the ISS car head round now. You're kind of in a sort of holding pattern until you get to turn 6 and 7. The 2 hairpins here. That's these corners coming up just now, and you'll see everything. Oh, they've had an accident there. Ran a little bit wide in the gravel. Need to watch out for the T1 SR car coming through it. The Beach Dean Aston Martin. And let's see what these guys are doing. The number 14 Ferrari, the Apex Online Racing Tour, one of the favourites for this race. That Ferrari just looks so beautifully balanced. So much grip, and there is a noticeable difference, a visual difference. So that Ferrari is just stuck to the lower brakes so late into that hairpin. Almost treats it like a double apex. And again runs it all the way wide. There's less grip out there, but if you can keep the foot in, you'll get a better lap time. For some reason the track limits don't apply out there. Can we get this corner hooked up right on the apex, gets it turned in, pushes it to the edge, and they've ran wide too. I do suspect we're going to get a couple of cars being caught out by that one, just trying to maximise the lap time. There is of course no qualifying session today. We do have the driving positions already set, starting positions. So this is the last chance the drivers will get the final 8 minutes as the Apex Online Racing car dives into the pit lane. So who's out on track just now? Let's give everyone a little bit of love. Friedman now on track, getting the first taste of Indianapolis. Dives in the pit lane, that'll be the handover to the starting racing driver. Adenel is currently on track in the 211 at McLaren. Coming through the final section there, this twisty section. Very technical, but it's so important to get the exit out of that second to last and last corner. There's going to be a lot of overtaking moves, a lot of action based solely around that part of the track. Track temperature currently 39 degrees, 31 degrees ambient, and the race is going to start in similar conditions. It's going to start very hot. Tyre degradation, graining, blistering is something that these drivers are going to have to manage. They do have a limited amount of tyres for the race. And we've got somebody here from the BRC racing team on the live chat. Good to see you watching. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Good luck to you guys out there. I know you guys are pretty quick. So the race starts at 12. It'll be going on to 8 PM at night. It will get cooler as the race goes on. That will be something for us to focus on. Yeah, 12 o'clock lobby time. So it will get cooler as the sun begins to come down, but we do have to go through the hottest part of the day in what is not a cool part of the world. Very warm in Indianapolis this time of year. Team Phoenix now out there, also in the Ferrari, the 488. Cross the line, there's the brickyard there, the yard of brick. There really is going to be so much action down into turn 1. That pit lane exit as well is something the drivers have noted in the driver briefing. They do need to take a lot of care on that pit exit for cars currently on the racing line, as they will be unsighted for cars exiting the pit lane. Bidzogo now currently driving that 488 car, putting it in round its paces. McCutcheon's done a great time there in the Aston Martin, only 1.5 seconds down. The track just begins to get rubbered in now. Mr. Van Eck in the 72, the Pro-Am driver. I think we've had another couple of drivers join the server, which is good to see. Still a couple short. But yellow flags out on track there. The 300 McLaren Ferrari seem to have just been off the track, been towed back to the pit lane now. Wonder what happened with that one. We've also got yellow flags for the 214 Ferrari, still in the pit lane. What's going on with them? I think they're just in the pit lane. Looks like a glitch maybe in the game. That's fine, we can ignore that one. So who's currently on the track? Who is currently setting these timing boards alight in the final 5 minutes of practice before the 8 hours of Indianapolis? McCutcheon comes now into the pit lane, likely to hand over to Anderson to start the race. Wall's going to hand over to Van der Waal, it looks like, as well. The Jota Sport team. 99 McLaren still lapping around there as well. Everyone, I think, just put in the final touches. The Team Euro 1 car still in the pit lane. Slow motion racer still out there. That McDonald's car, I am absolutely loving it. Yes, it was meant. It was terrible, I'm sorry. But they're currently running in P4. A good showing just now. Of course, it is impossible for me to tell. Yellow flags up ahead, the 72, that's Van Eck. Dive back to the pit lane now as well. Hello EGT Genis, ciao. Buonasera. And that's as far as the Italian goes, so I do apologise. There's the Hutchinson Audi. Wall still out there. Hooks up that apex, no running wide this time. Good exit. We'll just see where the Audi spots his brakes. The Audi's car with very good brakes. It's just before that line that crosses the track. Seems to be the braking point for the Audi. Little bit of a lift off as the understeer creeps in round the final turn. Can the 433 improve their time? They don't improve. Hello, George Coleman. Come on, Jay Mayer. Who does Mayer drive for? Oh, he's in P1. He's doing brilliant. He's doing very well. He's currently in P1. Online Racing Club GT. Thank you for the nice words. I'm sure the FRL Racing team will appreciate that there. They do put in a lot of work to run these leagues and run these races, and they certainly put a lot of work and their own personal time into getting this, the 8 hours of Indianapolis, off the ground and got it running tonight. Naisbit, thanks for joining. Up the T1 SR, I could not agree more. Again, I'm trying to rein in my bias, but I do want to see Mr. McCutcheon and Mr. Anderson start us off fantastically, and we look forward to seeing you in the car later on, Daniel. Thank you very much. So, everyone, there's not really a lot of cars currently left on track. Who have we got out there? Mayer still in the pits. Slow motion racers still out there. Hello, Yorkshire Mick, thanks for commenting there on the live stream. Race Club UK done really well in qualifying yesterday. They'll be looking to build on that one. It'll be good to see exactly what they can do. We know they've got some talent behind the wheel as well. Got some cars coming round the pit lane there. A couple of Audis. One across the line. No improvements just now. Again, possibly on some longer stints as that red Mercedes comes through as well. The FRL Racing team still in the pits. Who is in this pink and blue car? That's wonderful, that livery. Who is that? Southern State Racing, that's fantastic. Stickers all over that and everything, that's brilliant, the 100 car. I really like that. Now they'll be good, easy to spot out. As we're getting close to the start, that's the checkered flag dropped for practice. Everyone on a lap may continue to finish their lap. Friedman in the French Connection car, the 208. Still making their way round the track. We'll come on board just for the last couple of corners. Can never tell with this Mercedes if it's carrying a lot of fuel or if it's just sluggish. I can't really tell, but it always seems to put the good lap things around on the board, especially in the hands of Mr. Friedman. Takes a lot of curb there. The Mercedes just munches it. Friedman dives into the pit lane now. A little bit wide, need to watch that. That's something maybe the drivers will need to watch on the pit entry. The 303 car coming around the back. Will they come into the pit lane now as well? Or are they going to finish the lap? This looks like a fast lap. The blue McLaren there, the 303 car, the Vodafone. Coming up to the yard of brick now across the line. And that's practice done. 5 minutes for the race start. We'll let the drivers kind of sort themselves out and we'll quickly go over the grid and what's about to come. So, practice ends. Got Meyer up at front, only done 5 laps and already the fastest driver. Team Year 1. Apex Online Racing in P2. And African Thunder, what a lap from them. The AM class 21. 136.6. That'll be an interesting one to see how that one unfolds. So let's look through the grid and we're going to go through in reverse order. So at the back, like I said, we've got the African Thunder car, and it's good to see all 27 drivers, all 27 cars have joined the field for this race. That's great to see. Klassen's going to start us off in the African Thunder car. The Wall Racing team, driven by Wall in the 433 Audi. There we go. Baltic Sea Racing in the Porsche. Ignition Sim Racing, Graf's going to start us off in the number 10 Mercedes with that fiery rear end. And glory to Ukraine in the Sky Mercedes-Benz car, the 93 car. Starting off at Pro-Am, the silver class, we've got the 589 Mercedes AMG, but they're driven by G. Harvey. And we've got Mistka in the Virtual Racing League car. Gonsalves in the Overmaniacs car, the 300 Ferrari. Van Eck will be getting us underway in the 72 BMW. Gibbon starts for ISS Racing in 18th alongside the Turn 1 Sim Racing car driven by Adam Anderson, the yellow and black Beach Dean Aston Martin, and then the fantastic baby pink and sky blue livery, the Southern State Racing 100 McLaren. And 15th we have Fernka driving the Jota Sport car, who done a fantastic performance last time out in the last endurance race we done, the 4 hours at Spa. We'll see if they can jump on improving on that one. Di Stefano for the BRC Racing team in the Honda NSX, very fast car, very fast driver. We've got the 171 McDonald's car, the Audi, driven by Mihulka, the slow motion races. We've got Nordic E-Racing Christensen in the 16 Aston Martin, the green and lime green livery there, very easy to see. And the top ranked Pro-Am car, driven by M. Conway to start for the FRL Racing team in the Iron Dames car. Milden starts off the Pro class. Ben Milden, who will be in the comms box later on this evening, the 588 Mercedes. We've got Bizzogo for Team Phoenix 1 and the 488 Ferrari. Gray starts us off in the French Connection car, the 208 Mercedes, and Alerts for SBR Europe also in the Mercedes in that black and white 717 Mercedes there. Mullins, who I've driven with regularly this season, this past 10 weeks, very quick driver, will start us off in the 48 Row Engineering car in P6. Adenauer starts for Race Club UK in the 211 McLaren. We'll see what they can do. The blue McLaren, the Vodafone McLaren, the 303 is in 4th. Team Year 1 will start us on P3 at the top of the second row. And on row 1 we have Team Phoenix 2, the 888 car driven by I'm going to try this, Petrozella and Vermeulen in the Apex Online Racing Pro car, starting on pole position. George Coleman, I challenge you to watch Star Wars and see if you can get through The Hobbit as well, the Hobbit trilogy, Lord of the Rings even, sorry. See if you can do that before the race finishes. Vortex Racing, bigging up the 211 McLaren, the Race Club UK. Again, we're going to see them in the car later on this evening as the race progresses. And we see the starting grid there.
30
ready
seconds.
to go. We've got 30 seconds left. Let's hope that all the drive. This is a reminder to any driver that has it on in the background. Please press drive, unless, of course, your choice is to start from the pit lane.
10 seconds.
10 seconds left for the start of the formation lap. We just wait for the 10 seconds to go and for the Apex Online Racing car, the AOR car, to get us underway on the formation lap, which should be any time now. And we're moving. That's it, that's us all ready to go. As we see them there just moving away. We look backwards now, we see the Ferrari behind as well. All the drivers warming, still feeling the need to warm their tyres in this 31-degree heat. And I've missed my moment for the start your engines, but the thunder was taken away from me by my fellow commentator who's already commented that, unfortunately. So I'm going to stand off from the cringe of shouting that out. As we come around turn 3 now. Some of the drivers still on the starting grid. So that is something, you know, that when they get underway, they'll need to back everyone up. You see the African Thunder car still coming through turn 1, as the leader's nearly going through sector 1. Dust being kicked up there as well, you don't want that. The Glory to Ukraine car, the 93 car, the Sky Mercedes. 4 Mercedes in a row there, that'll be interesting to see how that little battle unfolds. Hello Pixel, thanks for joining us. T1SR, let's go. Hello Vantage. You guys need to be doing the cheering because I'm not supposed to be doing it just now. Bradley Brown bigging up the number 38 car, the Team Year 1. They're getting a lot of fans today. Melding in that Puma AMG Mercedes. Just coming through all the cars here just to give everyone a little bit of screen time, because I'm definitely not going to be able to keep up once we get underway. These two Ferraris are looking incredibly racy, aren't they? Petrozella in the 888. And now choosing to back the cars up quite early. That's good, because they will get in plenty of time to get into their position. That's brilliant, because the African Thunder car is just right in the back of the pack now. They've got a car off actually. Number 21 car. No, yeah, that is African Thunder car. No, they're absolutely fine. So now we're just about to get underway for 8 hours of solid racing. And the tension now building, the butterflies in the driver's stomach. They need to do their best to put that to one side, because they've now got to concentrate on getting their braking points right and not taking out half the field. Let's try and keep it clean into turn 1. It is an 8-hour race, you don't want that all ruined as we get underway. And we're green for the 8 hours of Indianapolis. We're off. We have got the Apex car on the left, the 14 car, and then the Team Phoenix car on the right. As they come down the 5 abreast, somewhere halfway down the field. The Team 1 car is getting swallowed up as the blue McLaren, the Race Club UK car, comes round the outside. And it looks like these two side by side at the lead through turn 3, and the AOR car out in front, and the switchback, the Ferrari down the inside. The Esports Vodafone McLaren all over the back as well, but the Apex car fell down the grid, and Petrozella is now up into first. Come further down the field. Don't think there's been too many incidents. Everyone seems to have got through okay at the back. Very tight, and they're close, and there's a slight touch between the two cars there. But everyone generally well behaved, no one's race over. There's been a big crash there. Got a spinner, and oh no, they hit each other. That is the Porsche Baltic Sea Racing. Involved in an accident there on lap 1, hopefully not too much damage, but Petrozella's out in front, putting the gap already on the AOR car. Team Year 1 in third, holding on to that there, but they've got CDTB Sports car just in behind. IRL Black in 5th, and there's a close battle here with the French Connection and Phoenix. Iron Dames car all over the back as well. Great start from them, from the FRL racing team. Race Club UK dropped all the way back out into P10. And they come across the line now to start the second lap. And we'll let the driver tracker update itself, and we'll see just exactly what order we have now. Team Phoenix 2 in first, Vermeulen in second, Team Year 1 third, CDTB Sports 4th, IRL Black in 5th. A battle here as well. The French Connection car all over the back of the Phoenix car. SBR Europe 6th, Phoenix still just holding on to 7th, French Connection car in 8th, Conway in 9th. Race Club UK just holding on to the back of the FRL team. Nordic E-Racing in 11th. The Slow Motion Racers in that McDonald's car in 12th. De Stefano 13th for BRC. Jota Sport in 14th. SBR Endurance Buildings had an absolute howler at the start there in 15th. Southern State Racing 16th. Anderson still where they qualified in 17th. ISS in 18th. Yaki up into 19th. Harvey in 20th. The Virtual Racing League car in 21st. Glory to Ukraine 22nd. African Thunder with the fastest lap of the race. We've seen their speed in practice. Ignition Sim Racing in 24th. Gonsalves in the 300 car. Had a bad start there down the 25th. Wall in 26th. And we've seen the Porsche have an accident as well, just right at the back of the field. So let's come back to the front as the Ferrari seems to be using the slipstream to catch. Will they think about a move down the inside? No, thinks better off it. Doesn't need to make the dive bomb. We're here all day. But they do have set the fastest lap off the race. The BRC team now all over the back of Slow Motion Racers. Very close between these two. Just trying to catch up with what exactly has went on here. Looks like the FRL Racing team has got themselves now up into 8th, ahead of Race Club UK and the French Connection. But these three here, Nordic E-Racing, the French Connection and Race Club UK, in a little train now developing. Just behind Silva in 9th. We'll get very close down into that braking zone. Nothing doing just now. Ignition Sim Racing car close to the back of the African Thunder car, but nothing doing. Let's jump to the front. I think maybe the AOR car will just be saving a little bit of fuel, using the tow there to try and extend their first stint. Very sensible driving. Let's come on board with the French Connection now. See, we're on board the Friedman on the back of the Race Club UK car, driven by Silva. McLaren versus Mercedes. Friedman takes a bit of a tighter entry through that hairpin. Well, these two look a lot closer this time around. The AOR car looks to have a fantastic exit. Could we be seeing the first lead change? No, not quite. But they are very definitely a lot closer this time around. Petrozella and Vermeulen almost pushing each other along the track here. The Phoenix car feels the need to go defensive. And the Ferrari pulls out, thinks about a move down the inside, but thinks twice off it. Doesn't go for it this time around. A lot of battles going on down the field here now. We're going to see the McDonald's car think about it. No. The turn 1 car up into 16th. Ahead of Southern State Racing. That's a move that's been done by Anderson. We've missed that one, unfortunately. And two cars side by side on the curb, high on the curb. But the ISS car gets ahead of the 723. And maybe the old switchback there nothing doing that time around. Bowman cheering on the number 38 car there. The Team U1 car still sitting on well in third. Slow car at the back of the 73 car. That is the Porsche again. They look like they've had a big accident. Might see them in the pits very shortly. We'll keep an eye on that one. Turn 1 car has done well so far. Gotten ahead off the 17th place Southern State Racing, the 100 McLaren, and now on the back of the Jota Sport car. Anderson pulls out to the inside. Can we see a move down here? And it's down on the brakes, leaving enough space on the inside. The McLaren that has the inside, and there's almost contact there. Did they touch? But that's going to compromise the McLaren on exit and potentially leave them vulnerable. All 3 of these could be vulnerable. We're going to stick with this one just now. Anderson now out in front. The 2 McLarens battling behind. The Southern State car pulls out to the inside. Little bit earlier on the brakes though, wanting to avoid a contact, and that one now seems to be Anderson up into 15th for the Turn 1 Sim Racing car. Fern cut in the 16, and there's a move for the Southern Racing car down the inside. Doesn't make it stick, but the 99 car got a little bit of oversteer. Got yellow flags out at the back for the 433. That is the Wall Racing team had a spin, maybe contact with the Baltic Sea Racing car. Oh, Gonsalves, we don't just missed that one there, but not a great start for the Baltic Sea Racing car. Putrezella all under all sorts of pressure from the Apex car, and Team U1 now joining this battle as well. We're 10 minutes into, and they touched, the 2 leaders make contact, and they both went wide, and that's going to allow the Team 1 car, the Team U1 car driven by Mayer through to take the lead. Putrezella is now down in third, it looks like. What's happening? Did they cross the line just to get that? I can't quite work it out. So we've got Team U1 in first, the CDTV sports car in second, Vermeulen in third, and Putrezella now down in fourth, and that's opened the door for the Rao engineering car. The BMW and SBR Europe thinking about getting involved now too. Team Phoenix began to pull just away from the FRL Racing team, who's been kept honest by Silva and Friedman in the 2 cars behind. That's the first action point we've had, with the 2 leaders touch into that corner, the final sort of tight section. Quickly running through the field to get a feel of who's doing what where. The BRC Honda still doing really well. Anderson put some distance already on the Jota Sport car. Southern State Racing lapping with the other McLaren. Yaki's team kind of on their own just now, a little bit lonely. The ISS keeping them honest. Virtual Racing League and that Mercedes just behind. Harvey in that blue, white and gold Mercedes. Glory to Ukraine leading the AM class. African Thunder down the inside. Just misses the curb and the car in front. Great driving from Wehrmacht. Ignition Sim Racing down in 24th. Gonsalves building back up. Weird for Baltic Sea Racing in that Porsche, and World Racing team down in 27th after the accident at turn 1. But as we start the 8th lap, Mayer is out in front. And there might be a little bit of damage to the rear of that Team Phoenix car. A lot of close cars coming down here now in the starting straight. Will anyone think about a move? Very late on the brakes for the Audi. A comment here from someone on the chat there, disgusting driving from the 888 car Ferrari. So that's an accusation being thrown on the chat. Thinks it's maybe a bit of an intentional issue to try and get in front there. Not worked out for them, they're down in P4. On the Yakinen, thanks for the comment, thanks for joining. Yep, Yaki is doing a pretty good job actually. In the Pro-Am class, sitting kind of mid-table in the 72 car. Just ahead of the Virtual Racing League and the ISS racing team, keeping him honest. Just beginning to lose track, however, 5 seconds, 6 seconds down from the Southern State Racing car. Anderson about 3 seconds back from the NSX of Di Stefano and Malden fighting their way back through the field. Oh, Naki, yes, thanks. Yeah, he's doing it. I appreciate that. And Yaki is doing fantastic. G captain for Scottish president. There's not a lot of competition just now. That's possible.
Don't touch that.
So up front, we're now watching Vermeulen for the AOR car. Putting the pressure on second place, so very close. And will we see the AOR car think about a move down the inside here? Nope, not this time, nothing doing. At least you need to watch they don't get caught in the one battle and don't let Mailer pull out a bit of a gap that team will need, but that's a great exit from the Ferrari. The Ferrari flies out of that corner there onto this short straight. A little bit deep there for the McLaren. Did they touch? Did they almost touch? The Ferrari almost pushing that McLaren round that second to last corner. Vanek now potentially under a little bit of pressure. The ISS car thinks about a move down the inside. And the Mercedes needs to be careful. Just about makes contact, but that's compromised them, and that's going to put the G Harvey into contention. Nice to see G Harvey getting a great tow down the straight. 3 cars in front, punching a hole in the air. They may be more concerned with the African Thunder car in behind though. Real Max driving a fantastic race, very late on the brakes, and we nearly got a first point of view at the potential crash there. We've got very close. It looks like the ISS car is completed the move on Yaki there. Di Stefano very close to Malden, pulls it to the inside on the marbles. Need to watch the brakes. And they make contact. Malden turned in. You could argue Malden had the racing line, but Di Stefano was at least alongside. Should they have left room? That's contact that wasn't necessary. And look at that, Mailer now pulled out a 3-second gap. 3-second gap to second now, and the second to fifth, almost in a train, pushing each other along as they come across there. The Team Year 1 car with the fastest lap of the race as well, putting in the laps they need to pull out a bit of a gap. Almost contact from the number 14 Ferrari. The ARO car, Petrozella and the Phoenix 2 car just behind them. Now it becomes just a little bit further behind. A bit of a battle beginning to brew here between SPR Europe and Bidzogo, the other SPR and the other Phoenix cars. You can see on the map as well just the size of the gap. That number 38 Team Year 1 cars putting on the field. Conway still got a bit of a gap, and Silva still holding off Friedman. in the French Connection car. It looks like Friedman's got a very good exit here. Could be putting the Race Club UK car under a lot of pressure. And was it a bit naughty, a little bit of weaving in the braking zone? It definitely stops Friedman from thinking about a move. The Nordic racing car, the green Aston Martin, just kind of sitting there waiting for things to happen in front. I just feel like there's something brewing here. And Friedman again thinks about it, pulls out to the inside and then back in behind Silva, just letting him know that he is there and he's ready to pounce on any potential mistake. But we've now done 11 laps already. They've went past really quickly. A potential move on here. The Ferrari using the slipstream on this back straight. You really need to be almost alongside to make a move work there. We've got the train here. The Iron Dames car, driven by Conway and the FRL Racing team, leading Silva in 9th. Conway is noted that Conway is leading, the FRL car is leading the Pro-Am category just now. But they've got a couple of Pro cars in behind to the next one. Hi Lewis, yes, Mark is doing a fantastic job there just now in the Iron Dames car. We do know the people around him are no slouches, so they are doing a fantastic job. The Slow Motions Racers car kind of in that train, but not attacking, not defending. But Christensen does feel the need to get a little bit defensive. Is that Honda NSX after the initial contact with Milden gets very interested in P11, but things better off at this time around. Let's go find the next couple of trains. But dust being kicked up there. That looks like maybe Anderson running a little bit wide in the T1 SR Beechstein Aston Martin. That car looks very stiffly sprung at the rear. Look at it bouncing on the track. Hopefully he is okay and able to get those tyres back in the operating window. Haha. And what's going on here? The African Thunder car, glory to Ukraine. And Vanek's lost a position, 2 positions there. To the glory to Ukraine car and African Thunder. And we've got another move potential in the back. And now McLaren's other crash and a spin. Gonçalves has not had the best first stint. Another bit of contact. The Ignition Sim Racing car, the fiery rear end. All over the back. Yaki running a little bit wide there as well. The African Thunder car has been absolutely fantastic, starting from the back of the grid up into 22nd now and putting pressure on the 21st. So Veermack doing well. And I don't think we can talk about people doing well without talking about this gaggle of cars here. Conway now under pressure. We've got the Race Club UK car put to the inside. Friedman taking the racing line. Race Club UK going defensive. Oh, attacking late on the brakes. Almost hitting the rear of their FRL car. Look at how close these guys are. Through turn 4. We've got a 4th car now joining the back. The Slow Motion Racers car joining this battle. And just behind them we've got Di Stefano and the BRC car. Nordic E-Racing getting interested as well. That Ferrari may be looking a little bit worse on its tyres. So close, very aggressive defending there, but also very fair. And I think we have missed it, but the AOR car has taken P2 from the CDTV Esports, the 303 McLaren. This is a really interesting battle because Friedman looks so racy there, but it's a good exit from the Inception McLaren, the Race Club UK driver. Friedman takes that wide exit, thinking for the straight line speed obviously at the end of the straight, takes the slipstream, but the Race Club UK car also getting a toe down the straight. These three are pretty, I don't want to look, but I don't want to look away as well, and that Ferrari gets a little bit out of shape. Keeps it all together, and the Race Club UK down the inside, understeer from the Ferrari, not quite making the apex. Will the Ferrari feel need to go defensive here? No. But De Silva's going to get compromised on exit. Friedman nearly sneaks up the inside. All three running all the way out wide. Friedman a little bit further, using every little bit of the track and more. This is a fantastic battle. All now settling down a little bit. Christensen thinks about it now, maybe. Malden's joined the back of this train now as well, trying to battle back through the field. And if they go on any longer, it's going to let Anderson in the T1 SR car join this battle for 8th as well. It's fair to say that we've got a bit of a Conway train. De Silva thinks about moving down to the inside. I don't think the Ferrari is too interested in defending. So good on the brakes. Goes deep though. That will compromise the exit. Freeman also getting close to the back off that McLaren. These three are battering so hard, but they are allowing the drivers behind into contention now. And Freeman down the inside. The FRL car has had an absolute nightmare in the last couple of corners. Silva through first, then Friedman. We think that Ferrari might be just beginning to lose its tyres. The Audi now thinks about it down the inside, but the Iron Dames car still going defensive, taking a slightly tighter entrance into that corner at the end of the straight. And we'll now see the pace that Silva and Friedman have as they look to have been unleashed from this train. Di Stefano, the BRC car, and the slow motion racers now so close around here as well. Will the NSX think about a move down the inside? They do. They dive down the inside hard on the brakes, and there's contact again, and there's contact behind as well. Malden and the T1 SR car of Anderson goes through, and Malden again with contact. Malden has been in the wars, and two Aston Martins touch. It's absolute carnage here, and this is the battle for P13, and that's allowed the Jota Sport car, who is at the back of this train, now up into P14. Anderson will not be happy about seeing what's happened there. Ping pong through the final section. What are we doing here, guys? Come on, are we racing or playing ping pong? One person not playing ping pong is Mailer for Team Year 1, who has pulled out a 5-second gap now on the field, on Vermeulen in the Apex online racing car. Vermeulen in the 14 green and red Ferrari in P2. We've got Davids Jr. in the CTB Sport, the 303 McLaren, the Vodafone car there, in third. Petrozella in fourth after the little bump earlier on, 2 seconds down. Further 2 seconds back with the IRL black car, Zuchowicz in P6. Cross for SBR Europe, under pressure from the Phoenix car. Still, we've missed a lot of this one. These two have been all over each other to start with. Silva is dragging Friedman alongside nicely. Friedman just biding their time. Conway seems to have stabilised after that initial little bump. Still leading the Pro-Am class. De Stefano for the BRC team, getting their elbows out, up into P11. The Audi, the slow motion racers car, the McDonald's livery, just biding their time. Not really been involved, but racing very solidly. Milden has been playing ping pong with other drivers. It looks like that Mercedes is carrying a fair amount of bodywork damage. Milden can tell you all about it when they join the comms box later on this evening. They'll be third in the comms box, I believe. I'm here till 4:30, and it'll be Robinson, FRL's very own, taking over for myself. Then Milden will take over for Robinson. We'll have Tom Cairns in just after that for a couple of hours, and Mr. FRL Chris Gedman will take us into the home stretch this evening and interview some of the winners. Anderson now under pressure over the marbles. Need to be careful, tyres don't get too dirty. Hopefully the damage does not cause too much of a performance issue on the car, but there's more contact. Contact there from the north, pushing Anderson, damaging the rear of the car. That'll be impacting the performance. So the African Thunder car now in front of the Glory to Ukraine car, put on a 5-second gap. Wehrmacht has gapped the 93 at Mercedes-Benz, and now putting pressure on G. Harvey. The 589 car. It's got a fantastic performance from the African Thunder car actually tonight. They were fast in practice. Didn't have the best qualifying, knocked out in Q3, and the Mercedes-Benz has run wide, and that is a freebie for the African Thunder car up into the top 20. Yaki's racing team down in 26th. What has happened to Yaki? What is going on? Hopefully Yaki can maybe give us a little explanation as to what has happened there later on. But Yaki has not had the best race. It looks like a move going up there. We've got the Glory to Ukraine car and Gonsalves down the inside. Different classes. They don't have to race, but I'm sure they will be. Gonsalves just gets the move, but look at the damage in the front of that McLaren, Ferrari, sorry. The front of that Ferrari is smashed to bits. So it's worth noting the AOR car has closed that gap at the front. They've taken a second out of the gap from the 38 BMW. 3.9 seconds is the gap, and then a further 5 seconds back. We've got a bit of a train now forming as well behind the IRL black car. SBR Europe in 6th, Team Phoenix in 7th. Silva and Friedman still impossible to separate. Friedman seems to be so good on the brakes down into turn 1. That's something the Race Club UK team will need to look out for. And the Iron Dames car now back under pressure. The BRC car's got past. The BRC car's taken the lead of Pro-Am. The FRL racing team under pressure now from slow motion racers. The Audi, as I said, was running fairly consistently and solidly, and Milden has joined the back of this battle as well. And late apex now. Look how close the Audi is. Oh no, you can't do that. Oh, that was so aggressive. Has the move been completed? The Audi's running a little bit wide. It's compromised all three of them. Milden now, and Milden contact again. The FRL team. There's contact back there. How is that one going to result? That one will not go down well. And Jota Sport now overtaken by Nordic E-Racing and under pressure again from Anderson, who is absolutely relentless, who will not let this slide. And let's remember, we've got the Southern State Racing Car also keeping themselves interested in what's going on here. We've been racing now for just over half an hour in this 31 degree heat, 39 track temperature. The tyres are going to be feeling a little bit second hand. Anderson takes the racing line, the Jota car goes defensive, compromise slightly on exit. That will open the door into turn 4 if Anderson keeps a good exit through this section. A little bit of understeer now creeping in, we can see the tyre wear there. So let's see if we can try and catch up with what's happened, because the Silver's still 6 seconds behind 7th, so that one's not close. Friedman is just about half a second behind the Race Club UK car. They're two flying along nicely. Then we've got 4 seconds back, the BRC Racing team. Slow Motion Racers in 11th, Milden in 12th, who is really doing their best to get that pro car back up into the pro class tier, where they all seem to, the rest of them seem to be fighting. Conway in the FRL Racing team has been in the wars. Does seem to be moving a little bit back. Maybe that Ferrari's struggling. It's now under pressure from the Green Aston off Nordic E-Racing. Nordic E-Racing thinks about a move, thinks twice off it. Jota just holding up Anderson now, and the Southern State Racing car, the pink and yellow McLaren. Gibbon is a further 10 seconds back off that battle in the Audi. And the Virtual Racing League car, the Mercedes, just in behind them. And then we've got a big gap now. We'll see us follow this one just now very quickly. See what happens here. Because these are close. Mercedes pulls out, the Audi does not feel the need to go defensive. These two giants of German car manufacturing fighting on track there. Now 10 seconds, 11 seconds back, we've got the African Thunder car, who has had an absolute fantastic start to this race. We are only 1/16th into the race, but they have driven brilliantly, started back of the grid. 3 seconds back, we've got G. Harvey and then Gonsalves, who has been in the wars today. The ISR car, the flaming rear, is in 10th. The Baltic Sea Racing Porsche also being a bit in the wars. What's happened there? That's not the position they're in. The Glory to Ukraine car has gotten in front of the Porsche. We've just missed that one, I think. Yep, Jackie Van Ecken in contact. Jackie is off. Jackie is off at turn 4. It looked maybe a little bit like contact, potentially. These two fighting on. So that is the roundup of what's going on just now. And just as I finish, there's something else to report up front, because Team Year 1 has had their gap now cut to 2.8 seconds. So Meyer still out there. The gap now 2.5 seconds. The AOR car is really now putting the squeeze on. Davids Jr. still in P3, but that gap seems to be steady at 2.5 seconds to Petrozella. Zurkiewicz in the 48, Royal Engineering car in 5th. And Croy is in 6th, about half a second behind. Not quite close enough to make a move this time. And Bizzogo just biding their time. They've come a little bit further back now. We've got the McLaren of Race Club UK sitting there in 8th. And the French Connection car in 9th. De Stefano still running on their own, 5 seconds down, but what a start from them, up into the lead of the Pro-Am class. Milden fighting back, using all the track, but the real action is here. The battle for 13th place. Conway, the FRL racing car, gets a little bit wide, it needs to keep it out of the wall. That was a close one, but they'll be compromised now, and the Jota car will be very interested in making that move. And the FRL car goes very defensive on the left, Jota on the right. This is a battle of who can break the latest, and they touch in the braking zone. That's caused an accident, and that's going to let the E-Racing car, the Nordic E-Racing, comes down. There's day touch now as well. T1 SR been overtaken by the Southern State Racing car as well into that section, and that was very aggressive driving by all of these 5. Exciting for us. They won't be happy. We've got our first pit stop. We've got Jackie Van Eck. No, we don't. They've got the Baltic Sea Racing car in the pit, and Bitterman has taken over. Bitterman now in that car, and we've now got the first pit stop. Is that going to... That's 40 minutes into the race. We've had our first stop. That's an interesting one. We'll see if anyone else... They've got yellow flags out for the 100 car. What has happened there? That is the Southern State Racing car. Has there been an accident? Southern State Racing car going very slowly. Anderson still out there. Maybe they had contact. We didn't quite see that one. And that is Gibbon going through now as well. So we have seen a little bit of an incident there. We don't know exactly what happened. We may have missed that there, as we're just noting that the Porsche had been into the pit lane for a driver change. So we'll see what Baltic Sea Racing can do in terms of lap times. There's a number 38 car coming through to lap cars now. The number 38 is pulling up the back of Yaki. Yaki pulls over to the left. We like to see that. It's good driving from Yaki. Lets the 2 leaders through. No issues. Good driving, Jackie. That's what we want to see. And lets the leaders continue their battle, because that gap is now down to 1.5 seconds. And I just think we're now around about that time where we're going to see drivers think about maybe making the move into the pit lane. The Glory to Ukraine car coming to lap the Baltic Sea Racing car. So this is an interesting one. Will the Baltic Sea Racing car move out of the way? There's no obligation. Oh, it is highly recommended you do not defend your position. And there's an accident. We've got 2 cars out there. One car that's been lapped, not getting out of the way. You cannot defend your position if you're under blue flag conditions. That's not good driving. Hopefully we'll see a bit more of that one, but again, defensive driving here. This is holding up the Glory to Ukraine car, the 93 Sky Mercedes. This is not right. This is not in the spirit of racing. Well, we'll see if the stewards do have something to say about that one. Let's come on now to these 3 here. Gibbon defending from Southern State Racing. Is Southern State Racing thinking about the move? The Audi is so quick in a straight line. Even with the slipstream, is able to stay in front. So Conway's been taken by the Jota car. The FRL car is now back in 14th, it looks like. Oh, yes. There's some comments there about defending under blue flags. You're blue flagged, you don't defend your position, it's that simple. I know it's a long race, but you cannot defend your position under a blue flag. A little bit of common sense there. This FRL car is under a lot of pressure. The Nordic E-Racing still putting the pressure on. Goes it down to the inside. That Ferrari is going to think about it turning in, and very close. Squeezes, and Anderson has to get on the brakes. Nearly makes contact with the FRL car. The Nordic E-Racing, the green car now on, compromised on exit. Now Lewis, yes, the FRL car struggling on tyres. I did suspect that they were having some difficulties. It looks like there's difficulties as Adam Anderson pulls out to the inside of the Nordic E-Racing car. The T1 car down the inside of T1. Makes the move, completely done, fairly done. Good driving from both Christensen and Anderson. But the one to watch now to half a second gap, we have got the Team Year 1 car and the Apex Online Racing car side by side on track. This is for the lead. We've only been racing for 45 minutes. Feels like we've been here for several hours with the amount of action we've had. Blue flag's been waved for the car in front. There's the car in front, that's the 43 car, that is... Where is the 93 car, sorry. And the Audi moves out of the way, prevents any issues. Look how close these two are on track. This is coming to a head. We're nearing the end of the first stint. We've got another car into the pit lane. We've got the number 16 car. Christensen has came now into the pit lane. We'll see if that triggers a row of pit stops, a flurry of pit stops there. But these two at the front, so close. Maybe a little bit of tyre, but we've got the Sky Mercedes just in front being lapped now too. Coleman saying to hold for Meyer to hold him off. Oh, that's compromised the Ferrari on exit. That was unintentional. They tried to get out of the way. It's a tricky section. It's good driving from the Sky Mercedes. Just unfortunate just where that lapping got caught. As we're going to see now the number 16 car in the pit lane on the right hand side. Maybe not to go past it just now. That is Christensen making a pit stop. Are we seeing a driver change? That is the question. I don't think we have. Christensen doing a double stint here. We'll see where they come out in relation to Jackie Van Eyck. Jackie Van Eyck now coming round as well. Are they on the same lap? I don't really know. I think they might be. Jackie's went out in front. Got a car moving out of the way there. I think that's the African Thunder car. Just getting out of the way. Quick double check on everyone else. We've seen a close move here. Potentially down the inside from Anderson. Holds off for one more lap. Go back to the leaders now. And the 14 Ferrari really putting the pressure on now. We're going to see a move here down the inside. Not this time, nothing doing. It's just so tense watching these guys now. The tyres will be beginning to go off. The BMW does appear to be having worse degradation. More deg than the AOR car, which seems to have kept its tyres nicely in that operating window. Look at that, so close, the gap getting smaller and smaller under braking. The Ferrari keeps it out of the back of the BMW for one more lap. De Silva seems to have dropped Bazzoco, who's got in front of Friedman now as well. Conway still struggling with Anderson all over the back, applying the pressure. Southern State Racing car stuck behind the Audi now. The straight line speed of the Audi causing problems. The African Thunder car again doing very well. Look how close they are now. On board the Ferrari. It does look like the Ferrari is the faster car at this point. A missed apex from the BMW. Two missed apexes. The Ferrari doing really well getting the car turned in. This is for the lead after 50 minutes of racing. We're not even 1/8 into this race. 30 laps gone, 31st lap just starting. The Ferrari using the slipstream, pulling itself closer and closer to the back of that BMW. Down the inside, thinks about the move, dives it down, goes deep. The BMW takes the racing line and back out in front. Great driving from these two, fantastic driving. And these three are in a bit of a battle. De Silva is definitely gapped. Don't know what's happened here. Maybe Friedman's had a bit of an incident. Not quite sure what's happened there. De Stefano still on their own. That BMW's done a great job. Sorry, BMW, the Audi has really done a good job. Milden now under pressure from a lapped car. The 16 Aston will be looking to unlap itself as it's fresh rubber on this hot track. Thank you, Lewis. Now these guys at the front again within a couple of tenths. This is going to get very close. They come through into the final twisty section. The BMW thinks about going defensive, doesn't. Keeps position. There's liner stern into the second to last corner this time. The BMW still feeling the need to go defensive, but that's going to compromise them heavily on exit. But the Ferrari looks to have gotten a little bit out of shape. Coming round that second to last corner, that maybe gives Minor another lap. We've got the 214 car. That's the FRL Racing team finally boxing for tyres. They're in the pit lane now. We'll keep an eye on them where they come out as well, as we can see, and the BMW lives to fight another day. Petrozella now under pressure from the IRL Black team. Everyone's tyres will now be getting a little bit thin on top, a little bit bald. Malden on the back of the slow motion racers in that Puma liveried car. The 214 car on its way out, the Iron Dames car now. We'll see where they come out in relation to the 99 vehicle. Will they be a lap down? No, they're out in front. Made it through so far. And this is where it gets tricky to just keep tabs on where everyone is, because as they come into the box, it's tricky to try and keep track of who is fighting who. We see the BMW again having to go defensive. Just makes that Ferrari think twice about the move. Ferrari gets to the apex. The number 14 car now on the rear ring. Look how close they are. The Ferrari now thinks about making the move, uses the toe, almost pushing the car around. Ferrari down the inside. Gets the braking point right this time, and they touch again. The two leaders make contact. The BMW has the inside for turn 2. The Ferrari's going to be in the best position for 3 and 4, however. And the BMW makes the Ferrari go tight. Can the BMW perform the old switcheroo? Has to get on the brakes. Turns in too early. The Ferrari claimed the apex. And that is the Apex online racing car taking the lead after 56 minutes of racing here at the Brickyard. The BMW not letting them go away without a fight, but I do think the Ferrari just has the pace, and I would not be surprised if we see the BMW into box at the end of this lap. We've got the 488 car now also in the box. No, we don't. That's not. Team Phoenix into the pit lane. We'll see will they come out. So let's see what else we've got going on just now. Other battles are currently on field. Going through the field. BMW not letting it go. The Team Year 1 car sticking with them the best they can. I do suspect there's maybe a little tyre wear issue potentially creeping in there. Not a good enough this time, but there's two cars just ahead. Two lapped cars, the 589 of G Harvey and the 488 car. Looks like just in front. Are these guys going to then get involved in this action? Let's hope not. But they are battling on field, and the BMW's run wide. BMW a little bit deep into the hairpin. That's going to take the pressure off the AOR car. And the first Mercedes moves over to the off the racing line to let the leader through. Wall and Maigler get the same treatment. Yeah, they do. Good driving, great stuff. And we'll see now what happens with G Harvey. Yep, over to the inside. And these two are fighting and they almost make contact. What is going on back there? Harvey and Graf very close. We've got a car in front into the pit lane. That's the second place car. That's the BMW now into the pit lane for some fresh tyres, as I suspected. And we've also, yep, number 38 car into the pit lane to box for some freshies. Some lovely new rubber for good measure. These two almost making contact. Coming through while the leaders lap them. Now we come up here. Petruzella still in P3 after the box of Team Year 1. Still under pressure from the BMW. Dragging along the SBR car. The BRC car under extreme pressure. Is this? No, it's a lapped car. That's the Nordic e-racing car. Lapped, trying to unlap themselves. They'll have fresh tyres. The BRC car a little bit clumsy, kicking up dust as they go around the track. This is one of the great aspects of endurance racing. You're going to get to these situations of drivers a lap down, trying to unlap themselves. We've got a lot of cars now in the pit lane. We've got the number 38 car, Team Year 1 car now leaving the pit lane. Where do they come out? There's the ISR car going past now. African Thunder, the 21 car, had an absolute blinding race. As they're now out. The 211 of Race Club UK as Hogan takes over. I think that's Vortex who spoke to us earlier on, I think. They've now taken over the reins of the Race Club UK, the 211 McLaren. Got the 778 car of Anderson into the pit lane now as well, the T1 SR car. We've also got the green Audi there, and they get off so close to each other. Great stop. Anderson just comes along. Where they're going to come out of the pit lane. We've got a 72 car in the pit lane now as well. That's Clark. M. Clark taking over from Jackie Van Eck. McCutcheon now in the hot seat for the T1 SR car. And he is off. He is away. What is the car in behind there? That is an Audi of some kind of Van der Waal. Van der Waal in the 433. Clark's now just leaving the pit lane, going to come in behind the 100 McLaren of Southern State Racing. The 589, who's now taking over the 589 car? We've got G Harvey doing a double stint. 52 is now in the pit lane. That's De Stefano has came into the pit lane and I think also performing a double stint. Fernka in the Jota Motorsport car again going double stinting. The 300 McLaren Gonsalves has finally came into the pit lane. We'll see if they change driver. And the Glory to Ukraine car has done a driver change. We've got Rosnov now taking over. So that is the current driver. We've got the ISR car now as well. They were battling with G Harvey, who's remained on track. Hutchinson now taking over, and all over the back of this McDonald's Audi. I think that's potentially to unlap himself. It must be the 588 car. Where's no, that's not them. Malden just in front of this lot as well. Slow motion racers. So yeah, that is the FRL racing team trying to get back on the same lap They'll need to watch because McCutcheon has just caught up to the rear of this little battle. 300, a lot of cars coming in now, the 300, the 303 and the 10. So that was the third place runner, the McLaren, has just went into the pit lane. Trundle still along. The 300 car of Lara, the Obermaniacs, has taken over from Gonçalves. Very close on the exit here. Need to be careful as that is the net second place. Almost makes contact. As Haniewicz has taken over now, the 38 BMW. Another lap gone for the AOR car. We'll be now 1 hour and 5 minutes. Petruzzello comes into the pit lane for a driver change in the 888 Ferrari. As Cruz goes through, as does the IRL black car. Malden next to come across the line. Is pitting late the right choice for them? We'll see how that goes there. We've got another lap before they think about going in. Slow motion racers now being unlapped by the FRL car. Kind of again, still on their own, driving a solid race. Southern State Racing 100 out again, does not pit, but the Virtual Racing League Meistcast will now come into the pit lane, potentially for a driver swap as well. The African Thunder car does not box, and Wehrmacht's still out there in the AM class, leading the AM class up in P9 overall. But the leader, so let's see, we've now got Hogan in the Race Club UK car being caught up by the French Connection car. Grace now taking over. So we've had Friedman and Silva fighting each other. We've now got Grace and Hogan taking each other on. We'll see how this one pans out. This is definitely a close battle, but that 888 car coming out of the pit lane at the same time. The Team Phoenix 2 car just comes out in front of this lot, I believe. So the drivers are now pitting. There is an open strategy. There is no mandatory number of stops. So we could see drivers on different strategies today. The 588 car, that is Milden, now coming into the pit lane to box. So we're going to get a driver change there, potentially, or maybe Milden running a double stint. We know they're going to be in the comms box later on, so maybe they'll be doing both their stints now. Where Mullen still out in front, still not a box. 24 seconds to the IRL black car, who is under extreme amount of pressure from the other SBR car now, under half a second. Come on board, riding with Croix. We can see the pressure being applied. The drivers might need to be a little bit careful with their lines over that turn, because they're getting very close to cutting the corner. And it's a long race. We don't want to see drive-through penalties for corner cutting, the track limit violations. So here we go, as we now see the Mercedes power, the AMG all over the back of Hogan. Hogan on the right, Grace on the left, down the inside. Move is complete, and that is now the French Connection car moving up a position ahead of Race Club UK. Boy, still all over the rear. Now the 588 car, Ben Milden is still in the car. Ben Milden is doing a double stint, so we'll see them back out again. The African Thunder car now into the pit lane after a fantastic performance. We'll see where they come out, because we know Bitterman has had a pit stop. They've got almost half the track in hand as this driver change goes on. The Glory to Ukraine car is showing us 38 laps down. What's happened there? Has there maybe been a disconnection? Oh dear. Didn't even notice that one. That's unfortunate to see. Showing us 39 laps down. Troy is still all over the rear now. We've got a one stop go penalty. We have a first stop go penalty for the African Thunder car, who's been absolutely fantastic. Wehrmacht doing the double stint but has been caught speeding in the pit lane, so that will be a 30-second stop go penalty. And I don't think they have 30 seconds over the next car. They have 55-second gap. A little bit longer to Van der Waal as we see the turn 1 SR car, the 778 Aston Martin. Looked like they were pressuring the McDonald's car, but the McDonald's car now dives into the pit lane. And there's green Audi in behind as well. That's a 433. Not currently racing for position. So maybe we'll hopefully not see too much of an incident. The leader, Vermeulen, still out there on their own, making these tyres work. 70 minutes straight these have been on. Still feeding their way through the pack. The 171 now car, the slow motion racers, that McDonald's car into box now. And we've got the number 100 car, the McLaren of Southern State Racing, into the box now too. Another lap for Vermeulen yet to pit. Those tyres will be falling away. Crew is still all over the rear of the IRL black car now as well. We'll see if they can just keep that pressure on. And Grace, Grace has found himself in front now of Team Phoenix. That's a move that's just happened, I think. Or is it the other way around? Team Phoenix coming through and there's almost contact. They're side by side. As for position, that's Team Phoenix up a position. And here we've got Team Phoenix 2 putting the pressure on the McLaren. There is a lot still going on. We're over an hour into this race and there's still a lot of action happening on track. And I think that is the McLaren now, a little bit of a gap. And a good exit there out of the final, that corner there. Does the leader jump into the pit lane this time around? Yes, they do. That has been just over 70 minutes. That is a long stint. They've done a great job. As they now come in, do they get the car slowed down? Yes, they do. Not a hint of a penalty there at all, as the African Thunder car clears the stop-go penalty. Where do they rejoin? In 24th position, about half of a lap down from Yi. See, where is it in relation to the Yaki Racing team? A couple of corners ahead of the 72 BMW of Clark. And almost half a track behind next in class Van der Waal. As Zuchowicz takes the lead for IRL Black. We've got a car running wide there in the background. Two cars fighting each other. That I think is the BRC car. The Honda NSX, only Honda in the field. I think the Honda were just lapping that Porsche potentially. It wasn't for position. Been a good drive actually from the BRC team, with Melisa now taking over the reins from Di Stefano. been a good job from them. They've kind of been quiet, but they're sitting there in P11, second in the Pro-Am class, but with the ISS racing team yet to pit, but here they come. So we will just see where the BRC racing team comes out. Nordic E-Racing keeping them honest, only a couple of seconds behind there. Slow motion racers and Jota keeping touch. McCutcheon again in 17th, doing a great job for turn 1. Keeping touch with the FRL racing team. We know Hutchinson's a very quick driver. Given in the box. And I think the BRC team is going to make this one stick, because the 155 car is still stationary. The ISS team, and that is the BRC going through to take the lead off the Pro-Am category. As we see Jorgensen coming through the lap traffic there as well. So let's have a look. Who is the closest battles we have on track just now? Zukshewicz is out on their own. The SBR Europe car is in the box, so they're now pitting. We'll see what happens with the leader. I fully expect this BMW Team Year 1 to still be out in second. And Yakinen, yeah, we've seen Yaki had a bit of a nightmare there, but we're now watching Yaki's racing team up in 24th. Clark's not out there, we know Clark's fast, we'll see what they can do. But that is the Team Year 1 car out in front of where they need to be. Is that Aniewicz is out in front? Aniewicz just came out in front of the AOR car, so they've retaken the effective lead. Team Year 1 back out in effective first place. We'll see if Kampic in the AOR car can close that gap down just as we've seen before. But it looks like the AOR, the 14th Ferrari, has it all to do again now. These two look very close on track. We have got the African Thunder car in front, not racing them for position, but the McLaren of Davids Jr. is being held up by the BMW, and they've got Team Phoenix 2 on the rear. Team Phoenix 2 floors the dummy, goes down the inside, but it's a late braking from the McLaren, keeps them ahead. Very good and well controlled on the brakes. They come now on board with Cesar and the 888 Ferrari. We'll see if they can make a move now. But that McLaren is desperately trying to get ahead off the African Thunder car. Doesn't defend position against both of them, that's good driving. And we've got notification there that the BMW car jumped the AOR car due to repairs of damage of an earlier incident. I think we caught that one at the start as well. Looked like a little bumper to bumper, a little fender bender, but it looks definitely bad enough for the AOR car to think about repairing the damage. That will put them in good stead in the long run. Means they won't have to carry that damage through the rest of the race, so that's maybe it turns out to be a good choice. It is a long one here after all. We've got a couple of close battles now on the track. We've got these two, the McLaren of Davids Jr. and Cesar, and the Team Phoenix 2 car, the 888. These two are very close on track. It looks like the Ferrari is particularly pacey around here. We've got Cruz all over the back of Hogan in the Race Club UK car. Another couple of tenths of a second. We'll see if there's maybe a move here, because they've got a car just in front, a very damaged looking car it looks like. I think that is potentially the Obermaniacs 300 car. As the Race Club car gets wide, the 211 McLaren a little bit wide on exit there. That is them allowing the Mercedes a good run through this little right-left kink section. And the two at the front are very close. The year one car feels need to go defensive. Campic on the outside. Can they spot the braking just right? Are they going to run each other wide? The BMWs and... No, the Ferrari gets through. The Ferrari is through and retakes the lead of the race. Hanewitz not able to keep the Ferrari behind. And that's now the Ferrari through. Up into P1, change of the lead again. As Mullings has taken over for the IRL Black team. Michael Mullings in the number 48 car. We've got what happened there? Was that a little bit of lag potentially? What is going on? We've got a car flying off the track. That's the 208 car. The 208 car. I think that is the French Connection car. Has been disconnected. 300. I'm not seeing the 208 car. The 208 car, the French Connection car, has been disconnected from the race. And that is disappointing to see because that will be Grace, M. Grace. But we're watching the Race Club UK, we're watching Hogan defend hard here from the Mercedes of the 717 car. Not afraid of the apex at all. Looking backwards. Race Club UK goes defensive. Looks to secure the apex, and that's the Mercedes ran wide. Compromised on the exit, and that's good defending from Hogan. Fair defending, very good. We look backwards now from Team Phoenix 2. Up into P3 there. What's that? Another driver disconnected. What? Oh. Mullings potentially had an issue there as well. As we see backwards from the Phoenix car, it looks to have gotten past now. And I think I need a minute just to try and recover what has actually happened, what has gone on here. Because on our driver tracker, the 208 car is still showing. Can't seem to find it on our driver selection side on the left here. The slow motion racers in behind Milden. Milden is driving the Pro category car with Huber in the Pro-Am class, but just keeping pace. I've said before earlier on that the slow motion racers car is just driven very solid today. Not really been involved in a lot, but McCutcheon is about to change that. McCutcheon down the inside. Great move from McCutcheon. Late on the brakes, makes it work, doesn't lock up, keeps the car under control. I do think that Huber will have seen it coming and maybe not challenged too hard, seeing the rate of knots that McCutcheon was coming at him. But it's a great move from McCutcheon down the inside. The FRL Racing team all over the back of Jota, and they're so close, and goes high on the curb, has to get out of the throttle just to keep the car stable. Great attempt at a move from Hutchinson, didn't quite make it work. McCutcheon still out there in front. And that's opened up a little bit of a gap to Milden, who will be relieved to have a little bit of breathing space. So now things seem to have counted. We do have a car, yep, the 208 car is now in the pit lane, so they were connected, disconnected and reconnected now. Grace and the French Connection car has rejoined, but they'll be down quite far. The Ignition Sim Racing car is 4 laps down in that Mercedes. The Glory to Ukraine car is still going, and I do not want them to quit because, like I said, we're not even a quarter of the way through this race. Anything can happen and drivers can be disconnected. It is one of these unfortunate things with sim racing. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I have been joined in the commentary box.
You have. Good afternoon, how are we?
Well, good afternoon, that's a familiar voice on the Formula Racing League YouTube channel. I'm good, thank you. Voice is now getting a little bit dry, but just hanging on.
Yeah, no, cracking job, mate. It's been a good race so far, hasn't it? It's lots to keep our eyes on.
There has been a lot. I've been scared to miss everything. Yeah, it's been interesting. We've seen the FRL racing team have quite an interesting race so far.
Yeah, we had quite a few issues with tyres. They were just really overheating at the front.
Yeah,
so
red.
had to adapt the strategy a little bit, but the pace is very good at the moment. We're coming back quite strong. Hutch is doing a very good job.
Yeah, he's definitely flying along now, all over the back of the Jota Sport car. So, have you been watching?
I have, yeah. No, I've been watching.
You know what's happening, and that's fine.
Yeah. So I will relieve you of your duties. Thank you, Gox, for jumping on and doing the comms, mate. It's been much appreciated.
Fantastic. I'm enjoying myself, and you enjoy yourself. And good luck for later on.
Cheers, mate. Take care.
Cheers. Take care. Bye bye.